What's happening, everyone? You know what? I think the weekend streams are becoming some of my favorite because when I have time, it's just it's not that I don't prepare for them because I do actually go through and synthesize a lot of information that's going on in the ecosystem and crypto and otherwise. And you know what? I got 45 minutes to spare, so why not? So much going on. If you haven't seen the thumbnail, I get to chat in just a minute. If you haven't seen the thumbnail, strong like bull. That's a strong like bull. That's actually an old one. It's actually over $5 now. Go pulse.com. So fun. Your favorite meme coin or founder's favorite meme coin, or sorry, let me correct that. The best meme coin, what Richard says on PulseChain, is back to $5. It used to be, $70, $80. That was a long time ago. That was 9 months ago, 10 months ago, getting closer, something like that. Amazing though, amazing. Good to see a green day. It's been a couple days since it's been green. Been fiending for the green. Yeah, I don't know what else you want. What else do you want in this ecosystem? I think INC is one of the ones that it's everyone's favorite coin to flip-flop on. I'm just gonna say it like that. It's or I don't know. It has so many like people who like it and people who just think it's hard for them to say nice things about it. You go back to the first streams I've ever talked about INC. I've never thought it was a dump for Evercoin. I always knew there was something behind it. The liquidity promise, the Hart's law, we don't know what's going to be built upon it. That's why, and I try to avoid having opinions, speaking in absolutes about things that could literally change, because the whole thing about token immutability, it's a little confusing because sure, nobody, it's kind of basically for censorship resistance, right? Yeah, nobody can change the token on the block. Nobody can change the contract, all this stuff. But you can launch a new contract anytime. You can roll out new stuff. So, and you'll find out which one's the real, which one's the real token, which one people are using after everyone abandons the first one or the second one or the third one, and they start using the latest one that has changed in some way. So the whole thing about it being, a meme token, it has no value. Even if you went to the worst case or the least interesting case and said that INC is literally never going to have any utility in the ecosystem and it's just going to be a token that's not PulseX. You earn something that's not PulseX, making sure the PulseX is deflationary and super deflating and buy and burn, all that stuff. Even if you said that, I would say Hart's law, liquidity bonding. What is it? It's got like 100 billion in liquidity or something like that. Then is that what Richard tweeted about earlier? It was like basically looking at both pools. So if you look at the PulseX pair, 48 million, the Pulse pair, 43 million. Yeah, so like 90 million liquidity. It's an RH token technically, natively. So, why wouldn't it have some sort of value? The whole ideal that I guess I never got it because that's how things fail, right? If you have a DEX or a farming platform or something where you earn a token that is not very valuable, you aren't incentivizing anyone to farm it and therefore do all the things to help build up your ecosystem. So I always knew, everyone's always, there's so many people who just, I don't know, I don't know. For me, I never doubted it. I always thought it would have some sort of value. I always thought that there must be something, even if I don't know what it is, but even if I can't point to it exactly, it will be revealed immediately. And it's not it's not even a faith thing. It's just like things can change. And I'm not going to pretend I know everything about the billionaire genius founder guy and all his plans for the ecosystem. So I never bought into the dump token narrative. I never took it at face value. I always say, okay, there'll be something to this thing. There'll be some reason for it to be valuable. And again, if nothing else, if there is no other utilities, if there's no new contracts, if nobody in the ecosystem, the community builds on it, if it's not valuable, people will not try to farm it. If they don't try to farm it, that doesn't help PulseX become the greatest DEX in the world, all that stuff. So if nothing else, it needs to be valuable for the liquidity promise and all this stuff to come true. I think it plays a big role in that. Monetizing risk. A lot of people talked about it before like that. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of obvious to me that it would at some point have value. And of course it's leveraged. So of course it's going to go down harder than everything else. And it's going to go up harder than everything else. It just happened to be caught in the downward spiral for quite a while. So anyways, I still don't think it's a meme token. I guess if you define a meme token as having no other utility other than to be bought or sold or earned, yeah, there you go. Is there a third part of this? Can you earn it? Does that exclude it from meme token by some metrics? I don't know. But anyways, there's my INC value there. So I think if you literally, Richard himself hinted it could be considered leverage on Pulse and PulseX. So if you believe the founder saying that, and he seems to know a lot of things, that would mean if they go up, it would go up, the whole idea of leverage, it would go up even more, right? And if they go down, it goes down even more, that sort of thing. Regardless of the tokenomics inflation model, you can go through all the stats. People have been trying forever to find ways to be bullish about this thing, and they found plenty of ways not to be bullish about it, and plenty of ways to be bullish about it. I don't know. I don't know. To me, I don't know why wouldn't I be bullish on it? I'm gonna believe Richard and think I'm gonna assume it's leverage on the other two, and I'm definitely bullish on them. Goody 213, Alan, what's happening, man? What's happening? PulseX, Max Stream pimping. It's true. Red Squirrel, I told you, man. You're number 5. I told you. Either number 1 or number 5 every time. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome, sir. BTFD. Man, you gotta remember this. Those guys back in 2017 cycle. That was a really good song, by the way. Yeah, these guys. I hope they're doing well. It's been a long couple bear markets. Yeah, 2018. Literally, this came out in 2018, so they've been through a couple bear markets. I hope they're doing well. I hope they're doing well. It's a great song. I really enjoyed it, especially my first cycle. I was like, yeah, BTFD. I was like perma bull back then. I was like, yeah, crypto is the best thing ever. No way it could go down in a cyclical fashion. And then, of course, it did. So, anyway, shout out to the Coin Bros here. I really enjoyed their song and hope they're doing well. Hope they're in true DeFi. You never know. All right, Honey Drippers, best intro in the game. Thank you very much. Shout out to Markable. He's the gentleman who made my media package and my intro. I used to have one I made a while back, but it's not nearly as good as a professional person. So I do enjoy it as well. It gets me a little pumped up. I actually turned the volume. I was like, tap, turn the volume up a little bit. I need to hear this thing. I need to hear the beat. I need to hear it hit a little harder. What's up, Ted Nelson? How's it going, man? I made whatever the OA buys considered off the market forever burnt. I don't disagree. That seems to be what a lot of people believe, and you can make a logical case for that if you make certain assumptions about who the OA is and what their purpose is in life and for this ecosystem and stuff. And now they own INC, which is interesting, right? Used to, they didn't own INC. So if you believe they're not going to dump Hex and Pulse and PulseX, why would that would be kind of poetic in a way. It's like the dump token is the only one that the OA dumps. I personally don't believe that would happen. Not financial advice. I personally don't believe that would happen. But that would be poetic somehow. That in the end, that's the token. It's it. Remember, they'll quote like Richard saying, "I care the least about incentive token." They'll quote that from the stream and stuff, and be like, "See, it all makes sense now." It eventually got dumped. It eventually might be a decade later when nobody really pays attention to it, but that would be poetic, I guess. I don't really want that to happen, but I hope they all stay locked up forever. And basically the way I think about the OA, I've talked to this a million times, but I think about the OA, all the coins they hold as, especially, you know, if they're holding the hex coins and stuff like that. I think of them as basically burnt, but it's like an emergency. How did I explain this the other day? It was like an emergency deal where I believe they won't be sold, but they could be positioned in a way to help protect the ecosystem as needed. So again, the whole idea of the OA is no one else, JP Morgan, nobody can come in and become Boston Network around, Boston tokens around, be the biggest whale, because there's only one biggest whale. There is no second whale. There is no second best. There's only one, and that is the OA. So if any kind of riffraff start happening, you know, they would have the capital to push the market in the way that they so desire, which, you know, we believe they're benevolent, so it would be the best for the ecosystem. So essentially, it's kind of cool, right? In a way, it's like they're burnt in a sense, the way I think about it. But there's this, you know, this emergency hatch thing of like, okay, something weird happens on the network, somebody trying to take over, OA doesn't like it, they can use their judgment for that. That's the way I think about it. And to me, that's the simplest explanation, and the one that makes the most sense based on actions, research, experience, knowing who may be that way, all that stuff. At least seeing their action stuff so far, historically speaking. The Lunacy Point, welcome. Crypto Astronaut, good morning. Rocket Ship fam. Yes, I do like rocket ships. Crypto Incognito. Get your question in, by the way. I'll probably go for another 30 minutes or so. I got a few topics to cover, but will not be a very long stream. I like the solo streams, but I don't have to be up here for like 2 hours. I have a guest. I'm usually up here for at least an hour, hour and a half. I went 2 hours with Kong the other day. I'm like, man, that was an amazing stream, but it takes a lot out of you going 2 hours. At least for me, it's like, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of focus, you know, taking time away from other things I could be doing. And I make these streams like as action-packed as possible as far as getting value. I don't just sit up here, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? I'll just sit here for a minute. What do you want to talk about? I don't do that. Try not to do that. No promises, but yeah, pretty amazing. Okay, I'm just going to look at the chat for just a second. Sorry, not going to get to everything today. Vic Bish, haven't seen you for a while. How's it going, man? All bags are pumping, RH and non-RH, love it. Yeah, we can all win possibly if you make the right choices. People have been streaming. I've been streaming for 2 years almost now. I was born a streamer in the bear market. I've been around, you know, I've been following RH since 2016 or 2017, but I didn't start streaming or interacting with the community except for the last couple of years. And I've been pounding the drum of greatest ecosystem on earth for a long time. I have 2,000 over 25. I want to guys about to hit 2,500 videos on the channel, and I want to say going on 400 streams. Not a lack of information. There's nobody can come into the ecosystem and say there's not enough information about something I'm interested in. It's just not a thing. And that's just me. There's a ton of streamers. 68, I've heard is the number. All right. Hex Monkey, what's up, man? You going to be in Vegas, by the way? Pumps are fun. We finally turning things upward. Sounds good to me, man. Things have been looking bullish for a while. Red says, I'm actually number one. That was 7 hours ago, and it's disappeared. It's just the internet changed it. The folks at StreamYard were like, you're too powerful, Red. You're too good at being first. We need a new first. Newest order, HOA token based on. I'm not sure. Let's see. Hexagon Contractor, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Just scrolling here. Alan, I was here first for your streams. You were nervous. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, that's was I very nervous? You know what? I watched one of my first streams the other day. Every few months I'll go watch an old one. And I always think it's going to be a train wreck, but I'm like, I don't think I did that bad, honestly, to be like the first time ever doing this kind of stuff. So yes, Alan has been here for a very long time. That's true. Alan, you're always driving or something, listening, checking in for the algos. Appreciate you, man. Alan, longtime supporter of the channel. Yes. Hex Monkey, awesome, man. Cool. A lot of people. Nuclear Herb's going to be there. I just saw he tweeted about it. He tweeted like this, of course, in Nuclear Herb fashion. He tweeted this like long, detailed how to do Vegas thing and tagged a PulseChain tour. I'm like, dude, pure value. You provide so much value for the ecosystem. RH could do a single size stake for ink and earn PLS fixed amount, time supply. It's plenty of reasons buy and hold ink. I mean, anything is possible. I've covered it, covered lots of different scenarios before, and there's, even if there's not, like I said, there's plenty of reasons to be interested in ink, and you can earn it by yield farming. And you know, there's different. I'll just show you real quick before I go into. I got a lot of topics to cover. I gotta move on, but go to exchange, go to PulseX, look at the farms. Wow, USDC APR is up to 139. Yeah, that's like I said, figure out impermanent loss before you participate. And you know, incentive token is supposed to make up for a portion of that, but boy, like I said, that not a lot of people say go all into liquidity providing and stables unless you're literally trying to silently sell, you know, in that way, get more of the other side, get more of the stables if the price goes up in an upward trajectory market. Bear market, different story. And sideways market, different story. You got a ton of, again, type RHMax and permanent loss, RHMax yield farming, plenty of videos and content that talk more in detail about this. But if you're okay with ink, a lot of people are like, I don't want to put ink trash. I don't want to pair my pulse and lose that, get that ink garbage. You know, we'll see. We will see. But if it's leverage in a bull market, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see if the APRs, how high they stay. If more people start entering, I mean, we got almost $100 worth of liquidity in these two ink and pulse and ink and PLS pulls. And then you know, of course, if you like both coins, right? Impermanent loss doesn't matter if you like both coins in a sense. You could say that like that. You got the PulseX and Wrap Pulse. You can see again the risk, monetizing risk. That's why it's so interesting to frame it that way. You can see that the risk here, you know, a lot of people think it's lower and they're voting with their money, right? You see the risk here. A lot of people think it's much more risky to lose, essentially lose money on, at least impermanently, right? To trade one coin for another, get more of the other if the other side goes up a lot by providing liquidity. And again, you got to, who knows, maybe ink does way outperforms and nobody's losing any money of liquidity providing it, or they didn't lose a lot. You do your own calculations. I have no idea, but you can see which ones are clearly defined as more risk and less risk of making more or less money. So I'm going to move on because I got a lot of stuff to cover. It's one way to think about it, Russ. I like that. No RH coin is trash. I feel like it's hard. I don't want to be the person bet against RH. Like, I know that's pretty obvious from my brand, but it just doesn't make sense. I don't want to bet. It's like I don't want to bet against Elon Musk. I don't want to bet against Peter Thiel. I don't want to bet against super smart people who perhaps are in it for, you know, higher meanings and stuff like that. By the way, check this out. Got a new card. I'll have this in Vegas as well. You tell me if you would like one. But it's got RHMax.tv, money printer go burr. Money printer go burr. So I've got this nice little, it's got some feel to it. Nice little round design with a hex logo and raised logo and stuff like that. So if you're in Vegas, I will have them there. Also, I'll have some t-shirts and maybe some other swag. We'll see. I got a couple surprise swag. Going to donate to the PulseChain tour as well. Maybe they'll use for prizes, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Hope to have a good time with people there. All right. So I want to cover this real quick too. I mean, just Naval in general. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen I've been retweeting a lot of his stuff. I do it from time to time, but today I just really wanted to make sure people saw this thread, which is just phenomenal. So probably the most important thread on the internet, one of them, as far as wealth creation otherwise. Naval, I've been following Naval forever. He's one of my 5 favorite people to learn from, that I've learned the most from. Richard, of course, Naval, Peter Thiel. Shoot, I had a list of these people. Alex Ramosi. Top of my head, I can't remember all. There's like 5 or 6 people I've learned a ton from. And yeah, he wrote this before, even Hex and all that stuff too. But of course, go back. Okay, go back to this. Anyways, there's some really good quotes here about status and money. If ethical wealth creation is possible if you secretly despise wealth. I've studied this. I've read the book. There's a book based on a lot of his tweets and stuff too. Anyways, really good stuff. Knowing how little you matter is very important in your own mental health and happiness. Like just being, I don't know. I don't want to get philosophical right now, but I think we all have some sort of ego. But in the grand scheme of the world and all the things of all time, like, there's interesting ways to look at it. And yeah, it's not like a nihilistic way, like, no, nothing matters sort of thing. I think it's I try to focus on enjoying the fact that I'm here and what little I can do to make life better for me and my family, and winning versus winning some status game or taking away from others. Or there's so much more fulfilling to give. And maybe if you give enough, you'll start receiving, like without expectations, that sort of thing. And tie this ecosystem or not, I just think it's really interesting to just study some of Naval's stuff, because I really like him. And again, I've read his book, like this Naval. I'll show you his book real quick. So it's a book. I'll just put it in the chat in case you all are interested. I've read it. I've listened to it like 6 times. It's really good. So you could take a religious take, you could take a philosophical take, you could do some sort of mix. I mean, I talked about meditation and stuff on before too. But anyways, I think a lot of the drama, the fighting, negative sentiment, I imagine, comes from this like me versus you mentality, a scarcity mindset instead of abundance mindset, and just thinking that you'll win if other people lose. I just don't think that's the case. I think it's so much, I don't know, it feels better to see other people win and you win too, instead of, you just win and get all the things and everyone else loses, sort of thing. Anyways, if you're interested, I think Naval's awesome. And, investor, philosopher. This is, again, if nothing else, just go through this thread and see if it means anything to you. I'd recommend that. It's just full of like super succinct little nuggets of things that are interesting and have helped me navigate different stuff in life. So really enjoyed that. So I just want to cover that real quick. Let's see. So Naval, let's go back into crypto. So I've been trying to do these polls. Maybe I'll do one every couple of weeks or so and just pick different projects and sort of, so I think it's good for engagement. I think it's good to get eyes on, Hex and PulseChain and stuff like that. And just to show people how many people are voting with, of course, a lot of people who see this are going to follow me, but a lot of them, did vote for Hex on this, which is interesting. You actually, it's fun to see you can actually reach people outside of your ecosystem literally by tagging them and asking a question that they're interested in. So yeah, somebody, you guys want me to do the elevator music? You're going to give me an answer. Just give me an answer to the poll. I won't do the elevator music. I'll give you a break. If I don't hear anything in about 10 seconds, I'm going to do elevator music. So click which crypto do you think will turn 1K into 100K in 2024? Give me an answer, chat. Don't make me do elevator music. I'll do it. I did it yesterday. You're gonna make me do it? Yeah. Thank you. 2 people answered. First one was PM Polkadot. All right. I hope you're from Polkadot community. Actually, that would be fun. That you're actually hanging out here. Welcome. If you are. If you're not, totally fine too. Maybe just like Polkadot or just believe in it more than the other ones here. But of the poll so far, again, we got plenty of time left, but it looks like 80% of people on this poll, at least, again, that's what, around, in the 400s people, believe Hex basically will do 100x, right? He'll take 1K and turn into 100K 2024. Solana, last, actually, a little surprising, and Pepe, of course, one of the most popular meme coins at this moment, is number 2, and then Polkadot number 3, and Solana number 4 last. So, we got PulseX in here. Yeah, I plan on doing PulseX. I did PulseChain the other day. So, I'm not going to, I don't want to cannibalize each other. I want to literally use this as a way to show people how many people are interested in the Hex community, PulseChain community and stuff. And also, again, get engagement, like engage with other communities of showing them, hey, what's over here? What is Hex? There's a lot of people who seem to vote for this, and get that kind of like subtle cross collaboration stuff. So I mentioned gophers. I had to respond with the gopher meme here, the little gopher dance. Yeah, Big Bishop got a big bag of dot. There you go. May everyone have the maddest of gains. I just happen to believe RH ecosystem has the maddest of gains myself, but it's a safe move. That's still around, or I'm not sure. Just looking at chat for a second. Famous per second. What's the OA? Great question. The OA, and I'll just put it on this page so you can see too. The OA is it's kind of, there's many OAs in a sense, the way I look at it. There's a Hex OA, which is what you generally refer to OA as. So the person that gets part of the bonuses, part of the Hex, I'm not going to explain like in detail how all this stuff works, but essentially a benevolent wallet, benevolent whale who has a large portion of the Hex supply. Then there's all the sacrifice money. Then I don't know if you want to call them OAs or sack wallets, whatever you want to call it. But to me, they're all like basically a bunch of little OAs, the way I think about it. Bunch of whales who have a bunch of the RH ecosystem coins locked up and have not sold them in a way. You can. I mean, there's a little bit of liquidity providing that happened earlier on. We talked about that before. But they're essentially looking out. I described earlier too about how they're Hexagon's best friend, PulseChain's best friend. As far as benevolent whales, they're not going to like that. Like their goal, it doesn't, historically speaking, they haven't dumped. If you believe they're controlled by people who have no reason to do that because they're already rich and all this stuff, then to me, that's I literally don't even think of the OA. I have no concerns, the OA whatsoever, of ever selling or making the price of the assets go down. I've literally ruled out every single thing. I've heard everything. I know all the stuff. I know there's like a million different daughter. I know all the stuff. Recycling bees. All I've took all the information and I put it together and decided I do not have any concerns about the OA. I only have gratitude and appreciation that there is such an entity that, historically speaking, has done good things. And what we've been seeing kicking off in the last few days may do a lot of other cool things too, by the DAI moving around, the PulseX SAC stuff. I've been covering that a lot too. So anyways, OA has a big portion of supply of most of the coins now, and that happened during the basically launch phases and stuff, sacrifice phase, whatever you want to call it, of Hex and PulseChain and PulseX. But INC, it did not until recently, did not have any of that, but it was also buying INC in addition to everything else, which is pretty cool. So the reason I show you this page is you can see the market caps here. And if you do exclude OA, which is if you believe the OA is benevolent, and again, nobody knows how many coins it owns and what it's going to do with them, all this stuff. But if you believe they're awesome, you can see the actual market cap of stuff that could be out there or is out there that isn't in the hands of people like that. And there's other big whales and stuff that, there's Godwell and stuff who's shown benevolence in many ways as well. Then you can see the true market cap. Interesting. I wonder if they're going to update the formula to include the OA in the INC market cap now that the OA or some entity like that owns it. You can see the market cap's much lower if you exclude the OA. So it's one of those things that when you finally realize it, if you're just looking at things by market cap, a million reasons not to do that and some reasons to do it. But if you're only looking at market cap, you're just going to pass these coins. Oh, there's no way heck can do $1. It's already a $12 billion market cap, all that stuff. If you get the real market cap, for example, or the closest thing to it, from a Hexican's perspective, it's a little bit of secret sauce there. So good question. All right, scrolling before I move on. You could say, oh, why doesn't OA burn the coins? Well, then they wouldn't be able to have any influence over the thing if anything ever happened where they need to use it. So would it be bullish if they did? I don't know. I'm sure there's some people who they see it as concerning, a large entity owning all the coins. But again, Satoshi has 1 million Bitcoin. I mean, all the go through Ethereum, Vitalik. You trust Vitalik? You think Vitalik's ever going to sell? You think Justin Sun, like all the people who have all, you go down this rabbit hole where it's just a bunch of either believe it or you don't. You're either okay with it or you're not. So not really. It's like I would spend like 10, 15 minutes thinking about it if I were new. And I think within that time, maybe you're going to make a decision or not. You're going to be, okay, I'm okay with that or not. Thousands of other people seem to be completely okay with it, or partially at least, because they're participating. And many of them are locking up for, 15 years, 7, 8, 10, 15 years. So apparently they're okay with that. All right, I'm going to move on. So it's another tweet I recently did. What if people don't know, Lex Friedman, I believe, asked Richard to come on the show one time, a long time ago, as in, I guess not that long ago, year and a half or so ago, 2 years maybe. And he actually mentioned Richard on one of his streams. I forget which one it was. I forget who he was interviewing or otherwise, but I remember hearing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, Richard might actually go on Lex Friedman. That's amazing. And I really like Lex a lot. I know he's blocked people, and he blocked Richard apparently or something at some point. That's probably because, he was just getting hammered by people either saying nice things or not nice things about him interviewing Richard or not. And I think the thing was that maybe Richard didn't want to travel at the time or whatever. And then of course he did, come to the US a little bit later, but it just didn't work out. But that would have been cool, right? But maybe one day, you never know. Maybe one day Richard will be on Lex Friedman, and that'll be a fascinating conversation. Fascinating for sure. But again, let's get to Richard's tweet. Best meme coin on PulseChain. He did do a question mark, so that leaves it up for debate. Up 13x in 82 days, a new local high. 131 million market cap, 42 million liquidity times. You can see times 2 as we talked about earlier, because there's liquidity for INC both in the Pulse and PulseX pairs around the same. And that's a very high percentage liquidity to total market cap. It was, and only can be minted by farming PulseX.com. And yeah, I think it was Hexican Hill, who also may be in Vegas too. That'd be pretty cool to meet up. PulseChain Tour, PulseChainTour.com. Richard zooming out here. I didn't really realize it when he said it, but now I'm like, man, why did he zoom out so far? Is this a secret $170 call on INC? What are these gains for ants? I've actually heard, like, what was Axis talking about? Was he talking about $1,000? Can't remember, $1,000, $5,000, something like that. Of just, some like super bullish projections and stuff. But it used to be. If you look at the chart real quick. Where's good Pulse? Look at the chart. zoom out. It hit its high. Yeah, right. It looks like it did hit around $80. Used to be around $80. And then again, this is the leverage down, right? This is you could think of it like that as well, and inflation, right? It's like an inverse inflation chart. Inflation, bear market. Oh, nobody has faith in the ecosystem. Oh, SEC. Oh, just sadness. Oh, wait, something happened. Oh, Richard, what? Richard's fighting. Richard's back. Richard's here. Richard's got 11 Chad lawyers ready to take on government, get glory, all that stuff. Wow. This thing seems okay again. Look at this. Where are we at? 42 cents, 46 cents, whatever the low was. 46 cents. Big brain, that founder guy. Big brain, big pocketbook, big community. I like it. I like price go up. I do. I like tokenomics, but boy, I like price go up. Pretty good indeed. Yeah, just on EHEX PX. Somebody asked about that yesterday too. I speculated on it a little bit before. I'm going to stick with this or some version of it. I think the average person will prefer PHEX. Most new people will prefer PHEX, but whales do not care. It's a different mindset. Like just like they don't care to pay thousands of dollars for gas fees when they're ending $1 million stake or doing $1 million transaction or whatever it is. They don't care to pay thousands of dollars for help around their house and property and hiring drivers and cleaners and people to make their life easier in so many different ways. They don't care about, hundreds of dollars for gas fees. Well, so they cannot care. Like rich people think way differently than everyone else. So, I favor PHEX, but barely. I mean, I like it because it's on PulseChain. I don't like to touch Ethereum for the most part. I try to avoid touching Ethereum because of, I don't know. I mean, it's not just gas fees. It's just like, I would just want to use PulseChain because it's a better Ethereum. Like, why do I need to use Ethereum? Everything I need for the most part is on PulseChain. So I do like a 60-40. I do cheapest G shares and stakes and stuff. 60-40. I think, gas fees would be, better in the future. And Vitalik Big Brain, all this stuff get figured out. And if you're much richer in the future, you probably don't care about it anyways. Honestly, I paid $100 for gas fees before because I need to get stuff done sometimes. So it's not like I want to, but it's not going to make me stop unless it's literally, I find it hard to end a stake that the gas fee costs more than it's worth but even then you could be like, yeah, at the time when everything's down, if Hex is a penny, what if Hex does 10x, then it's a different story. You gotta let your stake bleed out because you don't pay a gas fee when that Hex, you just like lost your stake, you lost the money. It's just, anyways, there's my PHEX. Ladders are super important. Paul says, oh, you rich. I'm going to take a Richard response. I wouldn't tell you even if I were. There's no benefit in sharing information about money or otherwise. However, I think it's just an objective reasoning type of thing. I guess if I was like super broke, I would really care a lot more. But you don't have to be rich to be like, this thing that the gas fee is really expensive to end, it could be worth a lot of money. But if I don't end it, I'm going to lose everything. But if I do end it, I'm going to take a short. It's almost like investing. It's like, weirdly enough, nobody wants to invest in gas fees for transactions, but it's like ETH is a product of its own success type of thing. Trust me, there are stakes that I've either not ended or I felt like, oh crap, I got to end this. But I did the cost analysis, man. So. Anywho, what else? What do you guys want to talk about? I'm trying to see what else I got on that list. Never a boring day. I think those are the highlights, though. I mean, maybe I'll just scroll Twitter for a minute and see if you guys have any questions. Oh God, I'm all in ink. Peeps, pray for me. May you have the maddest of gains, sir. Not financial advice. Not saying I'm not commenting on your judgment or commenting on anything. But I'm glad you're in the PulseChain ecosystem, and that's cool. So may you have the maddest of gains. May you make all the money and go do some cool stuff with it. All right, I'm going to go to scroll Twitter for a minute. Again, gets questions in. I will end this in probably about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, if I just scroll my Twitter, I got plenty of stuff to talk about, right? I don't realize I tweet so much, honestly. I just kind of, I'm just going back and forth and doing stuff my day to day. And I'm like, oh, I'll think of something interesting. Oh, let me go tweet that. Or I'll be checking the feed and see somebody will say something interesting. Oh, and I'll either retweet it or I'll put commentary or otherwise. But I don't really realize I tweet that much until I look at my feed. I'm like, well, that is several tweets per day. So this one, yeah, I've talked about this before about some people just aren't going to get it, and that is okay. And it's not even, I don't want to frame it as getting it. I just want to frame it as get crypto. And this is not some detriment to their life. I don't like to frame it like that because it gets so emotional. It gets so I'm right, you're wrong type of thing. Even if I believe not investing in crypto for myself, even if I believe for myself that if I didn't invest in crypto, I would struggle more with finances. I would not be able to retire nearly as early as I plan to, or I wouldn't have nearly the quality of life or the intellectual stimulation or the ability to make a contribution in a community worth contributing to. Even if I wouldn't be able to do things for my family and help do all kinds of good things. Even if I believe that about me, that doesn't mean anyone else can actually do that stuff. And I've came to that realization over the years that I used to have this mindset of like, oh, everyone's the same. If they just work really hard and put the work in and put the time in, and they can learn, they can get better, they can do this stuff. And I came to the realization that some people they just won't. It doesn't matter. You can show them. It's like you get stuck in that limbo of, oh, Bitcoin went up. Oh, it must be time to get out now. It must go down. Or Bitcoin's down. Oh, it's definitely going to zero now. They're always stuck in that limbo. They're always looking for an excuse not to buy it because they're not interested in it. They're not interested in what it provides. They don't want to get rich. They're not interested in being rich. So even though emotionally I want to be like, but I can help you, but you can do so much more. Don't you see you could win? I've learned to just accept it. Everyone is different. You're going to do things that other people cannot do. You're going to be interested in things people will not care about. You can only control the things in your life, and you can only control that button. So the way I go about it is I tell people about crypto. I'll mention it to them. Maybe I'll mention Hex or PulseChain or something, but I don't expect them. Again, there are no expectations. I don't expect them to be like, oh, can you show me how to do it? I don't expect them to go act upon anything I say. And I definitely don't hold it against them if they don't. Is it sort of like, oh gosh, I know that this is what you could do. I know you could do so much more with, this, whatever they're trying to do something, they want to get money for some business, whatever. Well, I know you could it's obvious to me looking at this, there's all these opportunities, but I just leave it be. I'm just like, no, they are going to do what they're going to do. There's nothing I can do to change that. And it's funny, even if you do have money, even if you're successful in different verticals and stuff, but especially if you're not like super rich or anything yet, people just don't care. You're not showing them what they need to see to entertain them or inform them enough to get the goal they may have. Most people do not have the goal of being rich. You cannot talk them into that. They either don't believe it's possible or they don't believe that you found the way to make it possible. So try to be kind to people in general. I've learned to just accept them and yeah, some things are extremely obvious to me, and maybe to you as well, if you're here, and they're just never going to beat other people. So it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I like these. I have some have some different memes and different gifs and stuff like this. It's a pretty good one, Richard. I haven't seen it for a while. I haven't brought up the ink stuff for a while. This is old in a sense. This is from last year when ink, people were making, when ink was 35, 40 bucks, man, a lot of people were making bank doing ink farming. But then it kind of just, once it went under $1 and stuff, nobody really wanted to talk about it. Once it went to $5, under $10. And yeah, it's fun. I get to bring all the ink coin, all the ink memes and stuff out again. Pretty fun. Yeah, this is something I saw from, shout out to Storyteller. A lot of great tweets, a lot of good information there. I was looking at this chart and I was thinking, wow, did all that new DAI, did it literally, and you can see the different APY fluctuations and stuff and the different TVL, but man, it's at 1.5 billion. It's like, is that another rich? How many Richard charts are we going to have? How many up and to the right charts are going to be? You're going to be like, Richard freaking Hart, man. He's the man. He's the man. So fun. So fun. If you don't follow me on Twitter, by the way, I'll just drop it in here. Drop in there in case you're interested. Yeah, I've been looking at Lunar Crush. I do not care at all to sign up for services. I think it provide value and give me information about what's going on. So I clipped this PulseChain sentiment, 46% positive. I don't have historical. I don't think they show that, but I gotta think it's got to be much lower than that before the last month or two. It's like 69%. Will we get to 69%? And then good accounting, yeah. If you're looking to good account other people's hex stakes and stuff, I have a tweet on that. I'll drop in here too, because a lot of people are interested in that. And I got a video on it. Search RHMax, good accounting. But I just want to do a tweet because I haven't talked about it for a while. Yeah, another Naval one. I just think it's like so good. The goal of the media is to make every problem your problem. I avoid the news so much. I have a very specific amount of time I spend listening or reading to like general world news and stuff. And it's probably too much. It's probably, oh man, under 30 minutes per day at most, probably more like 5 to 10 minutes at most, if I even do during the day. And it's only various, mostly objective places I look at it. Breaking Points, if anyone's looking for a show, has both the left and right views. I think they come together pretty well. It's called Breaking Points, the show with Crystal and Sagar. And I spend very, very little time on it because it's true. I think it's true. The goal, everything about the news, we are humans that evolved to be in tribes, local people. It's just so hard, even though there's terrible stuff going on all over the world. This is like, again, what the news does, right? It makes everything that's going on. Now you got to do something about it. What are you going to do about it? And most of us don't have the money, time, or resources to do it. And maybe we will one day. I mean, maybe that's something we could do, right? You go spend your time getting rich and then go figure out all the problems you want to solve. But most of us, the ROI is just not there. I don't think. So until it is, I will try to only focus on specific things that I believe I can make a difference in. And yeah. Anyways, just wanted to talk about that for a minute. I like my memes. Pretty funny. Sometimes it's just fun just to sit down and just like think of things, write down things, or just produce them, like work with other people too. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. I'm not promoting leverage trading. Although, I mean, I think leverage on PulseChain is much, much better than the centralized places. I would say that, but got to be careful out there. Ladies, liquor, and leverage. That's the 3 L's where makes most men go broke, as an RH quote. But there's tools. They're advanced finance tools for advanced people. It just happens that a lot of unadvanced people use them, or advanced people take way too much risk with them as well. That's basically your daily recap of my Twitter feed. There you go. All right. RHMax is the smartest chat on there. I don't know about that, but I appreciate that. I'll take it. Infamous perspective. You have an infamous perspective, indeed. All right. Yeah, ink equals leverage. Yeah, I mean, I was talking about different contexts there, generally speaking. But I mean, you could say, think about it. If you think RH tweeted about ink could be leverage on PulseChain and PulseX, if you believe that, it can go. That means generally speaking, it can go up a lot harder and it can go down a lot harder. Just the anatomy of leverage, right? In tokens and otherwise. So historically speaking, again, not financial advice, go look at charts, do your own research and stuff. But ink in a bull market could be looked at in one way, and ink in a bear market could be looked at in another way, or a sideways market otherwise. So very interesting to understand the nuance. And just scrolling through chat. I don't have time to get to all their comments and stuff, but appreciate you all. Lawyers and ladies cost the most. Oh gosh. Anyways, ladies liquid. Oh gosh. Anyways, that's all I got for you all today. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow with a pool party chat. I'll have a Gold Key and Hexgeta and Dipcatcher if you can join. No expectations, but appreciate you all coming out. Another awesome stream. Good to talk to everyone. Scivive and 5555. We are out.